Others have the woman take the child and leave, but I ran in the opposite direction, just because my mother-in-law wouldn't accept me as her son-in-law, and even planned to send my twin daughters to an orphanage, and even sent assassins to take my life. To survive, I had no choice but to flee with my 2 daughters. I never expected to be found after hiding for 5 years. At this moment, Chen Linger blinked. With her big sparkling eyes, she looked up at me. "Daddy, who is she?" The corner of my mouth twitched. In a helpless tone, I said, "She's your mother." Seeing that I admitted her identity so quickly, Chu Yu let out a cold laugh. The discomfort in her heart eased a little. At this moment, Chen Xianer blinked her big eyes and asked, "We have a mommy?" "You don't have a mother?" I said helplessly. "Since when did we have a mother? Then how were you born? How would Daddy know? Didn't you say my sister and I weren't born from a stone?" "When did I say that you were born from a stone?" "Well, before, when you were telling us fairy tales, you said once upon a time there was a little monkey that was born from a stone. I even asked you if we were like him, and you said yes." Chen Linger quickly replied, that's right. You told me and my little sister that. I never would have expected that a joke I told my daughter would be taken as the truth by them. If she's not our mother, then who is she?" Chen Linger puffed out her cheeks, pouted, and mumbled, "How would I know where Dad found this lady and insists she's my mother? Linger has never even met her, so what should we do with her now?" I asked. "Linger doesn't know. Xianer doesn't know either. How about we throw her out?" I grinned slyly. "Daddy, be gentle. After all, she's a girl." And so, before she even had a chance to say a single word since entering, Xiao Chu was dazed as I grabbed her by the collar and threw her out the door like a piece of trash. It wasn't until the door slammed shut that Chu Yoyu finally reacted. A wave of anger instantly surged. "Chen Fan, open the door for me. I spent 5 years searching for you and your daughters, and this is how you treat me? You dare to throw me out. You're not going to open the door, are you? Do you believe I'll smash this door down?" At this moment, the bodyguard who always followed Chu Yoyu quietly handed her a hammer. "Xiao Chu, here's a hammer for you. It'll make it easier to smash." Looking at the hammer he handed over, Chu Yoyu's entire face darkened. Even the corner of her eye couldn't help but twitch. "A hammer?" "Hammer your head, Xiao Chu. It's a call from the company." The secretary who has been with you for many years suddenly handed her a phone call. Hearing it was a call from the company, Chu Yoyu suppressed the resentment and anger in her heart. "This is Chu Yoyu, what is it?" The person on the other end heard Xiao Chu's voice, which was almost like the roar of a wild beast, and was immediately startled. "Xiao Chu, it's like this? There's a little situation at the company." After listening to the report from the other end, Chu Yoyu slowly let out a breath and said in a low voice, "I understand. I'll be back at the company right away." "Yes, Xiao Chu, I understand." Hanging up the phone, Chu Yoyu looked at the door separating her from the daughter she hadn't seen in 5 years. In the end, she still gritted her teeth, trying to calm her voice. "Chen Fan, I have to go back to the company. I won't be free for a while. I can see my daughter for the time being. Let me see my daughter one more time. Otherwise, it'll really smash this door down." I don't know if it was because she said that she wouldn't be free due to company matters, or if I was really afraid she'd smash the door and I'd have to pay for it. I still opened the door. The moment the door opened, Chu Yoyu saw the daughter she had longed for day and night for 5 years. Chen Linger was lying quietly in my arms, her small, pink hand tightly gripping my shirt, sleeping peacefully, while Chen Xianer was hanging on my neck, finishing her milk tea. Her big, sparkling eyes were curious as she looked at the woman in front of her. I frowned at the woman who, 5 years ago, was also so unreasonable and overbearing, and shouted in a low voice, "What are you being so noisy for? Linger just fell asleep. If you wake her up, are you going to comfort her?" Chu Yu looked at her sleeping daughter and said, "Sorry to me." "Sorry, I didn't know she fell asleep so quickly." The secretary and bodyguard next to her were both stunned. They had never seen a CEO Chu, who was usually as cold as ice, become so careful. But Chu Yoyu quickly reacted, "That's right. Why should you apologize to me? Give my daughter back to me, or else ill." Before Chu Yoyu could finish speaking, I unceremoniously slammed the door shut. Chu Yoyu was completely unprepared, and the door hit her straight in the head. She clutched her forehead with one hand, taking several sharp breaths. "This bastard!" The bodyguard beside her couldn't help but ask, "Xiao Chu, what now? Do you need me to help you open the door?" Chu Yoyu shot him an ice-cold glance, which directly scared the bodyguard into not daring to move. "Smash what? If you wake my daughter up, are you going to be responsible for comforting her? Go back to the company first. The matter at the company can't be delayed. Book a flight back immediately. I will stay here and keep an eye on them. Report their situation to me at any time." "Yes, Xiao Chu, I understand," the bodyguard said respectfully. "Chen Fan, you won't give my daughter back to me, right? You just wait." I placed the soundly sleeping Chen Linger on the bed. I casually pulled a tissue from the bedside table and gently wiped the cake crumbs from the corner of her mouth. After finishing her milk tea, Chen Xianer also leaned against her sister and quickly fell asleep. After doing these things, I made a phone call. After a few rings, a voice came from the other end, old but still powerful. "What's up, Chen Fan? Why are you calling this old man so late?" I said calmly. "Mulao. That person has found me and has sent people to follow us." Mulao couldn't help but tease. "Chen Fan, if it really doesn't work out, just go with her. After all, she is Linger's mother, and she's the eldest daughter of the Chu family, currently the CEO of the Chu Group, with assets of no less than 100 billion. My eyelid twitched. "Mulao, If you keep joking like this, then I won't need your help anymore. I'll handle it myself. Hey, don't. Just kidding, don't worry. If the Chu family dares to touch you and your daughters, I, on behalf of the Research Institute, will be the first to disagree. Long Lao's side won't agree either. Hearing these words, my empty heart went numb. Indeed, ever since I agreed to become a modified person to secretly help Dacia eliminate the threat from other modified people, whether it was the higher-ups of Dacia or the Research Institute, they all gave my daughters and me the best life and protection. Otherwise, just by myself, I could never have escaped from the powerful Chu Yo-yu, let alone the endless pursuits she brought upon me. Mu Lao suddenly said, "Oh, right, your full-body checkup report is here." My heart trembled slightly. I looked at my two daughters on the bed and asked in a low voice, "So, how much longer do I have to live?" Mu Lao's side was silent for a moment. "You can still live for another 23 years, I muttered in a low voice. "That's enough time for me to see Linger and her sister grow up." "Oh, right, Chen Fan. About that little grandson of mine, have you really not considered an arranged marriage? Although he's a few years older than your daughter, but as long as Linger and Xianer grow up, it won't be a problem. Or maybe." "Mu Lao, goodbye." I hung up on Mu Lao at the speed of light, trying to trick my precious daughter away. "Dream on, Daddy." I was just about to leave the room when I heard my daughter's voice from behind. I don't know when Chen Linger woke up. She was sitting on the bed, rubbing her big, beautiful eyes. I was a little surprised, according to Linger's previous habits. She almost always slept through the night. It was very rare for her to wake up in the middle of the night. "What's wrong, Linger?" Chen Linger stretched out her small, chubby, fair hands. Although she was still sleepy, she still called me in a soft, sweet voice. "Daddy, hold me." Hearing her call, my heart melted. I reached out one hand to hug her. "What's wrong? Did you have a nightmare again?" Chen Linger wrapped one arm around my neck and rubbed her slightly itchy eyes with the other. She yawned widely. "No, I'm hungry." I looked at my daughter dotingly and chuckled. "Daddy will go buy you something to eat. What do you want to eat?" Chen Linger thought for a moment and said, "I want to eat fried chicken, a whole fried chicken, and 2 orders of French fries, 2 Cokes." "Okay, but it's too late. No more Coke. Can we switch it to milk? And you have to brush your teeth and wash your face after eating." Seeing that Chen Xianer wasn't awake yet, still smacking her lips in a sweet dream, I carried Chen Linger downstairs to buy food. Back in the room, Chen Linger started to eat greedily. Her small, chubby hand tore off a chicken leg and gave it to me. "Daddy, you eat." Chen Linger hugged the fried chicken and gnawed on it. 1 bite of fried chicken, 1 sip of milk. Her little mouth was puffed up from eating. Her little face was also covered in grease. I occasionally helped my daughter wipe the grease from the corner of her mouth. The more I looked, the gentler my gaze became. The more I looked, the more doting I felt. "Oh right, Daddy. Was that lady really Linger's mommy?" Hearing Linger suddenly ask this question, I was silent for a moment, looking into my daughter's clear, flawless eyes. In the end, I didn't hide it from her. "She is your mother," Linger blinked and asked. "Then why have I never met her?" I pursed my lips, not daring to look into my daughter's eyes. I didn't know how to answer this question. Linger took a tissue and wiped her little hands. She lifted my cheek and gave it a kiss. Her childish voice rang out, "Daddy, don't cry. If Daddy doesn't want to talk about it." Linger won't ask anymore, seeing such an understanding daughter. I forced a smile and reached out to pat her head, asking, "So does Linger want to live with Mommy? Will Daddy live with Linger, Xianer, and Mommy?" After hesitating for a long time, I asked tentatively, if. I'm saying if Linger and Xianer were to live with Mommy. I hadn't even finished speaking when Linger's sparkling eyes immediately filled with tears. She pursed her small lips, looking at me pitifully. "Daddy doesn't want Linger and doesn't want Xianer anymore?" This time, I was completely flustered. "Sweetheart, don't cry. Daddy won't say it anymore. Daddy won't say it anymore, okay?" Linger jumped off the chair and threw herself into my arms. Her small body was trembling slightly. "Linger doesn't want to leave Daddy." I hugged Linger and patted her back, comforting her gently. "Daddy won't leave Linger. Daddy just said if, not even if. All right. No ifs at all. So, does Linger want to live with Mommy?" Chen Linger looked up and looked at me with teary eyes. "Then will Daddy live with Linger, Xianer, my sister, and Mommy?" I was silent for a moment, then gently shook my head. "Why, Daddy? Do you still not want Linger and my sister anymore?" Seeing that my daughter was about to cry loudly, I quickly said, "No, that's not it. It's that Mommy doesn't like Daddy. She can't live with Daddy. Then I don't want to live with Mommy anymore," Linger mumbled. "If Mommy doesn't like Daddy, then Linger doesn't like Mommy either. I like being with Daddy." I chuckled a little. "You should think carefully. If you live with Mommy, you'll have lots of delicious food, lots of beautiful clothes, you can go wherever you want to play. Daddy won't be able to control you either. Linger doesn't want that. Without Daddy, what's the point of having those things? Daddy disciplines me because Daddy loves Linger. If Daddy doesn't discipline me anymore, it means Daddy doesn't care about me anymore." I was a little surprised. It's hard to imagine these words coming from the mouth of a child who is not even 5 years old. Linger leaned against me and pouted. Besides, Linger is this old, and she has never come to find Linger, never come to pick Linger up, and never taken Linger out to play. Linger doesn't want a mother like that. I patted Linger's head, seeing my daughter so attached to me. My heart was in turmoil for a moment. "Linger, shall we go visit Grandpa and Grandma tomorrow?" Yay, Linger hasn't seen Grandpa and Grandma in a long time. The next day, after 8 o'clock, I carried my 2 still sleeping daughters and left the hotel. The bodyguard who had been following us immediately called Chu Yo-yu. Seo Chu, they've left. Having just returned home, completely exhausted, Chu Yo-yu received the call. Then tail them. See where they're going. Don't lose them like last time. Yes, Seo Chu, the bodyguard said seriously. In Chu Yo-yu's mind now was only her daughter's innocent and lovely face. She had long regretted why at that time she had deliberately said such harsh words to provoke me, and she never expected that I would actually dare to take our newborn daughter and disappear. Chu Yu laughed a little helplessly. She was really naive back then. Thinking back now, it was incredibly ridiculous. But the next phone call made her unable to laugh anymore. It's not good, Seo Chu. I've lost them again, the bodyguard said embarrassedly. Chu Yu shot up to her feet, her eyebrows furrowed tightly, her delicate hands clenched into fists. Her perfectly aligned teeth were about to be ground to dust. What? Lost them again? Where did you lose him? At a tunnel entrance, but I saw the direction he was heading. It seems to be towards the high-speed rail station, I understand. Chu Yu hung up the phone and immediately had someone trace my whereabouts. Looking at the dozen or so different routes on it, Chu Yu pondered quietly. If he took the high-speed rail, it means Chen Fan won't be going too far. My daughter can't endure such a long train ride. After looking for a long time, Chu Yu was suddenly surprised to find that Shancheng Town was on this route. Chu Yu didn't have time to rest. Planning to take advantage of some free time to make a trip to Shancheng Town, just as she stood up, a powerful voice suddenly rang out. Yu, where are you going in such a hurry? Chu Yu turned her head and saw a middle-aged man from the second floor, slowly walking down. Dad. Chu Tianxiong looked at his daughter. You haven't been home recently? What have you been busy with lately? Always not at home, and not at the company either. Your mother went to the company to find you yesterday, but didn't see you, Dad. Don't worry about it. I have my own things to do. After saying that, Chu Yu grabbed her bag and prepared to leave. Jibata is back. Aren't you going to meet him? After all, Jibata has long said that he doesn't mind what happened 6 years ago. On the contrary, he blames himself a lot, thinking that he didn't protect you well 6 years ago. Chu Yu pursed her lips. I did used to like Jibata, but that was in the past. That was caused by my foolishness and arrogance. It has nothing to do with him, Dad. Tell him. Tell him he doesn't need to blame himself. As for being together, let's just forget it. There are so many good women in the world. Why bother with someone like me? After saying that, Chu Yu hurriedly left. Looking at Chu Yu's retreating back, Chu Tianxiong slowly let out a breath and shook his head helplessly. Chen Fan, what on earth did that kid do to make you so angry back then? Could it be that at that time? Elsewhere, I carried my 2 daughters out of the car, looking at the small 3-story house in front of me. 100 emotions suddenly welled up in my heart. I haven't been back in so long. I wonder how Mom and Dad are doing. At the same time, a slightly annoyed voice suddenly rang out. You're about to turn the whole kitchen upside down, Longy. Where the hell are you? I told you to get a plate. What's taking so long? Coming! A young man who looked to be around 20 hurriedly ran out just as he entered the kitchen. He suddenly froze, taking so long just to get a plate. Are you just standing there looking at your grandfather? But when she saw me and Linger Xianer, she also froze, with a look of astonishment, looking at the 2 stunned people. I smiled faintly. Big sister, little brother, long time no see. Chen Yao was stunned for a moment. Then she reacted. Second brother, you're finally back. Chen Yao rushed in front of me and gave me a tight hug. Chen Longye also happily shouted into the house. Mom, Dad, our son is back. Who's back? When Father Chen and Mother Chen came out, they were also overjoyed to see their children. Seeing the few extra gray hairs on my parents' heads, the bridge of my nose tingled. I tried to force a smile and gently called out, Dad, Mom. I'm back. Oh my, Linger. Xianer are back. Come, let Grandpa hold you. Father Chen said happily. You? Move aside. You reek of cigarettes. And you still want to hold my granddaughter? Mother Chen held Linger and chuckled. Linger. Do you still remember, Grandma? Chen Linger said in a childish voice. I do. Father Chen, smiling, asked, Chen Xian. Xianer? Do you remember who I am? I do. Your grandpa. That grandpa made Father Chen overjoyed. Oh my good granddaughter, so good. Come here. Grandpa will give you some pocket money so you can go buy some tasty treats. Mother Chen seemed to be having a tantrum with me. She also took her wallet out of her pocket and gave it to Chen Linger. Linger, Grandma will also give you some spending money. You and your sister go buy some delicious food. Seeing this, I hurriedly stopped my parents. What are you 2 doing? Your granddaughters are still young. They don't need it. What do you mean they don't need it? She also took her wallet out of her pocket and gave it to Chen Linger. Father Chen glared at me fiercely. It's rare for Dad's granddaughters to come back for a visit. What's wrong with me giving them some money to buy nice food? And you? It's been 5 years. You don't even think to bring my granddaughters back to visit us more often. What? Are you waiting for us to be in our graves before you bring them back? To burn incense for us? Mother Chen also chimed in from the side. I remember when you first brought the 2 girls back, your parents looked so gloomy, as if they wanted to beat you to death. That's not what I meant. Didn't I think that you and Mom didn't like Linger and Xianer? I didn't expect that after all these years, Father Chen would deny it. Who said that? Who said I don't like my granddaughters? I love them the most. Linger, Xianer, tell me, isn't that right? This contrast made me not know whether to laugh or cry. Seeing that I couldn't argue against my father's wishes, I gave Chen Linger a meaningful look. Chen Linger immediately understood. She took the red bills and said obediently to Mother Chen, "Thank you, Grandma." Chen Xianer also took the red bills and said in her childish voice, "Thank you, Grandpa. You're welcome. Let's go. Grandpa will take you to pick longans, okay?" "Yes, Grandpa." The two little girls happily followed Father Chen outside. Looking at the one old and two young figures, I could only smile helplessly. Mother Chen gently caressed me with her hand, looking with a bit of heartache at this son of hers, who rarely came home. "You must be tired, right?" Seeing my mother with teary eyes, the bridge of my nose tingled. "Mom, I'm okay. I'm not tired." "On the contrary, Mom, have you been worrying too much these past few years? Look, you have a few more gray hairs. I'm just getting old. As long as you're okay and healthy, that's what matters," Mother Chen asked with some concern. "How long are you planning to stay this time? It's not going to be like last time, where you came back for one day and then left, is it?" I shook my head slightly. "No. He'll probably be back for quite a while this time. I plan to have Linger and Xianer attend a semester of kindergarten here, and he'll be able to stay by your side." Hearing that I would be staying home for a long time, Mother Chen was overjoyed. That's great, that's great." In the evening, I stood in the living room and called out, "Ling Xianer, can you two stay home and play with Grandpa and Grandma?" Hearing these words, having just finished her bath, dried her hair, and wearing only her underwear, Chen Linger immediately rushed out of the bathroom. She hugged my thigh. "No way. Linger wants to go with Dad." She hugged my thigh tightly and wouldn't let go. Chen Xianer, who was originally watching TV, also ran out. "I want to go with Dad too." To even prevent me from sneaking away, the two little girls clung on like koalas, their chubby little legs wrapped around my legs, each hugging one leg. They just hung on me like that. Seeing the two little girls insist on coming along, I felt a headache coming on. "But Dad has to go out with your aunts and uncles, and I won't be back quickly. You two have to go to bed by 9 at the latest. You can't go." "It's okay. If I get sleepy, I'll just hug Dad and sleep. You just do your thing. You don't need to worry about Linger." Xianer too. Seeing this, Chen Yuting at the door also laughed and said, "Chen Fan, just take them with you. We're all bringing our kids. It's all family. It's fine." Seeing that my cousin had spoken up, I also nodded and said to the two little girls, "All right, then you two go get dressed and put on your shoes. Dad will take you, but you can't run around." "Okay, I'll go get dressed then. I'm going to change too." Watching the two girls run back to their room, Chen Yuting asked a little curiously, "They're so young. Can they get dressed by themselves?" I smiled and nodded. Yes, they can. They knew how to dress themselves and put on their own shoes when they were 3. Chen Yuting couldn't help but laugh. You should know that her 2 maternal grandchildren were 5 or 6 years old before they could dress themselves and put on their shoes. Soon, the 2 little girls had gotten, dressed, put on their shoes, and run out. Chen Linger even took a small rubber band herself and tied up her loose hair. As for Chen Xianer, her hair was a mess. She doesn't like to tie her hair up. Chen Longyu and Chen Yao each drove a car, taking everyone straight to the KTV in the city center. We siblings hadn't gathered in a long time, so we stayed out until around 2 or 3 in the morning before leaving. I held the sleeping Chen Linger in one arm and held the hand of the still bouncing Chen Xianer with the other. Our group walked out, talking and laughing. Chen Longyu was a little drunk and slung his arm around my shoulder. "Chen Fan, what are you planning to do now that you're back? Do you want to come work with me?" I chuckled and was just about to speak when an angry voice suddenly rang out. "Chen Fan, how dare you bring my daughters to a bar? I'll kill you." Hearing this somewhat familiar voice, I looked up. Chu Yu was staring at me with a dark expression, looking as if she wanted to eat me alive. "Daughters?" Everyone heard how this woman addressed me, or rather, how she addressed the 2 girls, and they all looked astonished. Seeing me come out with them, Chu Yu was furious enough to explode. She turned her head, searching for something everywhere. Finally, in a flower bed by the road, she found a stick as thick as a thumb. She grabbed it like a madwoman, completely ignoring the high heels she was wearing, and rushed towards me to hit me. He let go of Xianer, shielding her behind him. With a lean, he dodged a strike from the stick. Then with a high kick, he hit Chu Yoyu's wrist. Chu Yoyu cried out in pain. The stick in her hand fell, but she reacted very quickly. After the stick fell, she did a spin and followed up with a back kick. The force was so strong that even the wind from the kick whistled. It's just that these moves of hers, in my eyes, were just child's play. I stuck out one hand and just like that, in mid-air, grabbed Chu Yoyu's ankle. Chen Xianer was holding a cup of milk tea, watching her father's neat and decisive movements. Her big eyes sparkled with admiration. Seeing me so easily block her kick, there was a hint of surprise in Chu Yu's beautiful eyes. "Let me go." I frowned and explained, "I didn't take Linger and the kids to a bar, we just went to a KTV." But as soon as the words left my mouth, I realized that didn't seem right either. After all, both places seemed like they weren't places children should be. As expected, as soon as Chu Yu heard this, her anger grew even bigger. "Is there any difference? They're so young. Why did you bring them here? What if you got drunk? What if there was danger? They were the ones who insisted on coming. Then couldn't you have just not gone to places like this?" I raised an eyebrow. "Who are you to me to be so nosy?" "I am." Chu Yu almost blurted it out. She slammed on the brakes at the crucial moment. She was originally angry, but her mind suddenly went blank. She was at a loss for words for a long time. Only then did Chu Yu say resentfully, "I'm their mother." "Since you're their father, you shouldn't bring them to places like this," I sneered. "You say you're their mother? Do you have any proof?" Chu Yu gritted her teeth. I gave birth to them. What more proof do I need? Who knows if it's true or false? If some random woman on the street comes up and says she's my children's mother, am I supposed to believe she's Linger's mother? Seeing that just yesterday I had admitted it in front of my daughter, but now had a completely different attitude. Chuyu was both angry and annoyed. You don't believe me? Then I'll take them for a DNA test right now. If the daughters are mine, then you have to hand them over to me. Not going. No money, no time. Chen Fan, I'll fight you to the death. In less than 3 seconds, I had grabbed both of Chu Yoyu's hands and pinned her against the wall with no strength to resist. Chen Fan, be gentle, be gentle. Seeing Chu Yoyu being subdued, Chu Yoyu's 2 bodyguards immediately surrounded us, preparing to attack me. Seeing them step forward, Chu Yoyu said angrily, "What are you doing here? Get out of my way. I'll handle this myself." Receiving a firm answer, the 2 of them also stepped back. Yes, Xiao Chu. Chu Yoyu was also afraid they wouldn't know their own strength. If they accidentally hit her daughter, it would be a disaster. Chen Fan, let me go. I suddenly asked a question. You're not wearing perfume? Chu Yoyu, who was struggling, heard my words and thought I was saying she smelled bad. She became even angrier. Wear what? Do I need that stuff? No, you don't. I'll let you go, but don't cause any more trouble. Linger is sleeping. Do you want to wake her up? Hearing that her daughter was sleeping, the struggling Chu Yoyu immediately lost all her strength. She looked at Linger, who was indeed lying on my shoulder, and Xianer beside her, blinking her big eyes at her. Chu Yoyu gritted her teeth. Okay, let me go. I won't cause any more trouble. Receiving her answer, I also breathed a sigh of relief. I was just afraid this woman would go crazy again. Just as I was about to let her go, suddenly, my 7th sense seemed to pick up on something. An indescribable feeling of danger spread through my body. Thinking she was about to be released and plotting a little revenge, Chu Yoyu was suddenly pushed against the wall by me. Chen Fan, are you getting addicted to this? Do you believe ill? Before Chu Yoyu could finish her threat, I whispered in her ear, Idiot, don't move. You're being targeted. What did you say? I don't believe your nonsense. Let me go. If not, when I get out, ill definitely. Originally, Chu Yoyu wanted to be stubborn and threaten me, but when she saw the meaning in my eyes, she immediately shut her mouth. The 2 exchanged glances. Chu Yoyu almost instantly understood my meaning. I cursed and pushed Chu Yoyu aside, leaning my body to clear a path. If you come bother me again, I'll slap you to death. Chu Yoyu rubbed her wrist, which was a little sore from my grip, and walked towards her car while cursing. Chen Fan, you just wait for me. I won't let you go. Absolutely not. At this moment, the people who had been watching, Chu Yoyu also reacted. Not good, she's trying to run. After her, those people immediately surrounded her. Unfortunately, Chu Yoyu had already reached her car. Seeing those people closing in, Chu Yoyu's expression darkened slightly. She immediately got in the car and said to the driver, Go, quickly. Seeing Chu Yoyu get away again, the leader said with a gloomy face. After them, we have to catch her this time. Then he walked towards me. I wasn't scared at all. I just handed the sleeping Linger to Chen Yao. Sister, take Linger and Xianer home first. I have something to take care of. Long Yu, you go ahead too. Kid, what's your relationship with that woman? Spit it out, or well break your legs. I waved away the foul air in front of me with my hand. A slight smile appeared on my lips. Friends with benefits, what other relationship could it be? The gangster was stunned for a moment, then immediately reacted. He pulled a dagger from his belt and shouted, Kid, are you looking to die? Do you know who she is? Why don't you take a look at your pathetic self? You're not even worthy of licking her toes, I said with a sincere expression. I am indeed her friend with benefits, but I've never licked her toes. I've only bitten them. The gangster was rendered speechless by my retort. He was so angry he laughed. Kid, you dare to mess with us? I'm going to cut your tongue out now. Let's see if you still dare to be cheeky. Half a minute later, I made a phone call. Lao Xiao. A weak voice came from the other end of the line. Can you please not always call me at this hour? It's rare for me to be home. Speak, what do you need? I glanced at the half-dead people on the ground. Oh, nothing. It's just that some people tried to mess with me, and I crippled them. Send someone to clean up the mess. By the way, these people shouldn't appear in Guicheng anymore. Okay, leave it to me. Send someone to handle it. Don't worry. I hung up. I bought a bottle of soda on the roadside. I hadn't even opened it when my phone rang. I thought it was Lao Xiao calling back, so I answered without looking. Hello, Lao Xiao. Are you done with your business? A melodious but extremely cold voice sounded out. Which Lao Xiao? I was immediately stunned, because I could tell that the owner of this voice was Chu Yoyu. I let out a soft breath. How did you get my number? Seemingly disliking my question, Chu Yoyu on the other end of the line widened her eyes. You just ignore me, I pouted. This woman was still the same as 5 years ago, always looking for trouble. Just for asking one question, she already wanted to kill me. The 2 of us fell silent in perfect sync. Neither spoke again. This silent atmosphere lasted for a while. The 2 of them opened their mouths almost at the same time to ask the same question. Are you okay? Both of their expressions froze at the same time. They fell silent again in perfect sync. In the end, it was me who broke this somewhat awkward silence. What's wrong? Are you worried about me? When I said this, the corner of my mouth lifted slightly. There was a hint of smugness. Who said I was worried about you? Chen Fan, you're still as shameless as ever. And you're so self-righteous. I just hope something happens to you soon. It would be best if you died right now. That way, my daughter will be mine. Although she cursed like that, on the other end of the line, Chu Yo-yu's beautiful, fair face unconsciously blushed. I pursed my lips slightly and said lightly, "It's very simple if you want a daughter. Just have another one. It's not like you can give birth anymore, and besides, wouldn't it be better not to let your daughter disturb your life? A single mother raising 2 daughters has a much harder time getting married than a woman with no children." Chu Yu-yu's side was silent. It was a long time before she spoke. "I just don't want my daughter to suffer with you. As for whether you live or die, I don't care. It would be best if you died in some corner right now and give my daughter back to me. You were the one who didn't want our daughter first," and my eyes were a little cold. A flash of coldness crossed my face. "Aren't Ling-er and the kids your disgrace? Didn't you not care about Ling-er and the kids? What do you still need them for? Do you really not want to let us go?" Chu Yu was stunned. "When did I say my daughter was my disgrace? When did I not care about Ling-er and the kids?" Chu Yu's words immediately calmed me down. I frowned. It was me. At that time I did say I didn't want my daughter, but those were just words said in anger. At that time, I didn't want to accept my daughter, but why would I say my daughter is my disgrace? No matter how much you hate me, no matter how much you resent me, what does that have to do with our daughter? I couldn't accept it at the time, but that doesn't mean I can't accept it for the rest of my life. Chu Yu let out a breath, calming her agitated emotions. When I started to accept and care about their existence, how would I have known that I would actually take my daughter and leave? I was silent. I downed the bottle of soda in my hand in one go. I could hear that her words were from the bottom of her heart. "Hey Chen Fan, are you listening to me? Give me back my daughter. I can meet any condition. Wealth, power, an easy job, and a generous salary are all fine." Hearing Chu Yu's already somewhat hoarse voice, I was very calm. "There's no need. If the girls want to go with you, I won't stop them. But if you dare to use those tricks to force our daughters to leave, I will make you pay with your skin, even if I die." After saying that, I hung up. I blocked her number directly. On the other end of the line, Chu Yu stared blankly at the dial tone after being hung up on. It was a long time before she snapped out of it. It wasn't until she suddenly shuddered, a chill running down her spine, that she came to her senses. "Damn you, Chen Fan, you dare to threaten me?" Wait, why did he say that? The more I thought about it, the more it didn't feel right. Chu Yu made a phone call. "Find Chen Fan's location for me, right now, under a large banyan tree on Shaoshangpin Cheng Street." "Ling-er, Xianer, didn't you two go home to sleep?" I had just arrived and was surprised to see Chen Ling-er sitting on a chair gnawing on a duck foot, leaving the corners of her mouth covered in grease. Meanwhile, Chen Xianer was holding a grilled pork rib and gnawing on it. Seeing me arrive, Ling-er excitedly waved at me, holding the duck foot she hadn't finished eating. She jumped off the chair and threw herself into my arms. I caught Ling-er, who was running towards me, and casually wiped her chubby little face. Chen Yao, who was next to us, said helplessly, "Ling-er just woke up and said she was hungry, so I brought them here." Xianer held up her grilled rib, smacking her greasy little lips. "I can prove that my sister was hungry. It wasn't me who was hungry." I flicked Xianer's forehead lightly with my finger, smiling a little helplessly. "You're no different, you two little gluttons." Ling-er giggled and hugged my neck, continuing to gnaw on that duck foot. Chen Longyu opened his mouth and asked, "Chen Fan, is that woman from earlier really Ling-er's mother?" I didn't hide it. She already found her way to my doorstep, so I couldn't hide it anymore. "Yeah, that's right." Chen Longyu couldn't help but give a thumbs up, grinning. "Not bad. You even managed to woo a rich and beautiful woman like that." The corner of my mouth twitched. "Woo her? Forget it. Conquering the world would be easier than conquering that woman." "So, Ling-er's mother came back this time, to take you guys back?" "No, she just came to take the 2 girls away. If the 2 girls want to go with her, I won't stop them. If she dares to take them by force, you'll make that woman pay with her skin even if I die." At this very moment, a cold yet charming voice rang out. "You want whose skin?" I turned my head to look. Chu Yu was standing behind me with a cold expression. "Why are you here?" Chu Yu is as sharp-tongued as ever. "Here to see if you're dead yet? Even if you die, I won't." Looking at Chen Ling-er gnawing on a duck foot and sizing me up with a curious gaze, Chu Yu immediately erased the cold look from her face. Her eyes softened as she looked at the 2 children. She wanted to reach out and touch Ling-er's cheek, but Ling-er subconsciously snuggled into my arms. Her curious gaze turned timid. Chen Xianer turned around and ran into her aunt's arms, not giving Chu Yu a chance. Chu Yu quietly retracted her hand, then looked at me. "Come back with me." I lowered my gaze slightly, gently stroking Ling-er's head and asking, "Back where?" "Shancheng Town? It'll support you all. A house, a car, and 10 million a month for living expenses." As soon as she said this, Chen Longyi and the others' eyes widened in shock. "Do you have to be so blunt?" I pouted. "No need. Don't you want to give our daughters a better life? Even if you don't think about yourself, you have to think about our daughters, right? You know, the things you can't provide, I can give them." I looked at the 2 kids. "Ling-er, Xianer, do you think our current life isn't good?" Chen Ling-er's big, dark eyes darted around, and she said with a giggle, "I think it's great. As long as I'm with Daddy, it's good." Chen Xianer was more direct. "Having enough to eat and drink with Daddy by my side, that's the best." Seeing this, I didn't hesitate to show her the door. "All right, you can leave now." Chu Yu was silent for a moment, and finally asked what was on her mind. "Do you hate me, or are you afraid I'll harm our daughters?" "Both. But I've never harmed our daughters, and I have no intention of harming them." Why would you say such things? I was just talking nonsense. Chu Yu shook her head. You're not that kind of person. If you said it, it means something must have happened. What is it that makes you so wary of me? Can you tell me? I was silent for a moment, then said coldly, because 5 years ago, you sent people to kill me and our daughters, so I don't trust you. I will never hand our daughters over to you, understand? Chu Yu stood there, stunned. I sent people to kill you and our daughters? How is that possible? I said coldly. Why wouldn't it be possible? Don't you hate me, thinking that I and our daughters ruined your life? After saying that, I left without looking back. I hate you, but not to the point of wanting to harm you. Chu Yu muttered, as if she thought of something. Her beautiful face filled with anger. Bastard, how dare you touch my daughters? Because she had thought of a possibility she didn't want to believe but had to. Several days passed. I didn't see Chu Yu come looking for me anymore. I really hoped Chu Yu had given up. Mother Chen waved her hand in front of my face. Fan, about what I said. Can you think about it? Only then did I react. Mom, what did you say? Think about what? The blind date? What else? I was stunned. Since when were we talking about me? A blind date? What blind date? Mother Chen looked exasperated. Your aunt and I have been talking for so long, you didn't hear a single word? Wang Chufeng explained with a smile. It's just that I know a girl. She's a university teacher, doesn't have a boyfriend. So I thought I'd introduce her to you. Hearing this, I massaged my temples, my head aching slightly. Auntie, I don't want to think about this right now. I'm not interested in this kind of thing. Besides, I have 2 daughters. Wouldn't that be unfair to her? It's because you have daughters that you should get married quickly. Think about it. Linger and her sister don't have a mother. I gave a bitter laugh. Mom, how many people do you think can accept a man who brings his children on a blind date? And how many can accept the fact that I have children? Mother Chen advised. How will you know if you don't try? What if that girl is willing to accept Linger and her sister? If Linger and her sister's mother doesn't want to marry you, why must you hang yourself on just one tree? The corner of my mouth twitched. So I should try hanging on a few more trees to see which one is more comfortable to die on? Mother Chen tapped my head and said in annoyance, Why are you talking like that, you brat? I've met that girl a few times. She's a good girl. If you dare not to go, I'll jump into the river for you to see right now. I was speechless, threatening her son with her own life. This is a first, Mom. All right, I'll go. I have to say, Wang Qufeng is a woman of action. She sent me the contact information while we were talking. I glanced at it, and my eyebrows furrowed slightly. Why does this person have my contact information? If you have it, it means you might have known each other before, which is great. Even if the blind date doesn't work out, you can still reconnect with an old friend. I know. Auntie, drive carefully on your way back. Arriving at the milk tea shop, I reluctantly sat in a corner. I can't believe I already have 2 kids, and I'm still being kicked out to go on a blind date. Just then, a somewhat surprised voice rang out. Chen Fan, why is it you? I looked up and saw Li Xia hurrying over with a look of surprise. At the same time, there was another woman next to her, who looked about the same age, wearing a pair of black-rimmed glasses. That woman also had a surprised look on her face. Xia, do you 2 know each other? Li Xia couldn't believe that the person she was on a blind date with was me. Compared to her surprise and joy, I was much calmer. I just smiled faintly and said hello. Long time no see. Yeah, it really has been a long time. Li Xia and the other woman sat down, and she introduced her. This is my colleague, Zhao Huahua. I nodded at her. Then, Li Xia asked softly, How are you doing now? I'm okay. And you? I'm okay too. The 2 of us exchanged pleasantries for a moment, then we both fell silent at the same time. We were once as close as could be, but after meeting again after 5 years, we didn't have much to talk about. Luckily, Zhao Huahua started the conversation. All right, since you know each other and you're both here for a blind date, let's just follow the procedure. I'm fine with whatever, but Li Xia seemed hesitant. In fact, when she saw that her blind date was me, she didn't care about anything else anymore and didn't want to make any requests. Since Li Xia was too shy to ask, she let Zhao Huahua do the asking. Do you have a car and a house? No car, but I have a house in downtown Gui City. Hearing this, Zhao Huahua said with a bit of regret, Downtown Gui City, the housing prices there can't compare to here. Li Xia next to her quickly interjected, That's all right. For Chen Fan to be able to rely on himself to buy a house at his age is already very impressive. But my next sentence made Zhao Huahua frown. But that house is for my parents to live in now. I only go home to stay there occasionally. Zhao Huahua's expression immediately turned a little unhappy. Living with your parents? But Li Xia said, It's okay, I don't mind. It's good to be able to take care of the elders up close. Hearing this, Zhao Huahua's eyes were about to pop out. She looked at Li Xia with disbelief. Girl, are you serious? You can tolerate this? What about that guy with the 3-bedroom house before? Why didn't I see you agree to him? As for these things, I naturally didn't pay them any mind. I have one condition. If you accept, I can marry you immediately. Hearing that I even had conditions, Zhao Huahua was about to roll her eyes. Seriously, bro, what conditions do you have? When it's she who should have conditions. But Li Xia really didn't mind. She only cared if she and I could go back to how we were before. She was my moonlight back then, and wasn't I also the moonlight of her youth? Seeing an opportunity, her eyes lit up. Suppressing the excitement in her heart, she asked, Then tell me, what's the condition? I have daughters. On the other side, Linger was hugging a pure white rabbit sitting in front of the gate of a large courtyard. Good bunny, here's a carrot for you. Suddenly, a red Ferrari came around a corner and stopped right in front of the courtyard gate. Linger looked up. A woman with a beautiful face and a noble, arrogant air stepped out. The little girl tilted her head, her big eyes blinking. Oh, mommy. Chen Xianer didn't say anything, just lowered her head and continued feeding the rabbit. The first time she heard her daughter call her mommy, completely unprepared, Chu Yu stumbled as she got out of the car. Then she quickly walked over to the two children and squatted down. The cold look on her face melted into tenderness. Linger, what did you just call me? Linger looked at Chu Yu with inexplicably red-rimmed eyes. Hugging the little rabbit, she said, Mommy, aren't you our mommy? But I remember Daddy said you are our mommy. Linger hadn't finished speaking when Chu Yu pulled her into a hug. Even Xianer, who was about to run away, was pulled into the hug too. I'm sorry, Linger Xianer. I'm sorry, it's all Mommy's fault. Linger raised her small hand, just like she wiped Daddy's tears and wiped the corners of Chu Yu's eyes, comforting her with a giggle. Mommy, don't cry. Linger knows. Daddy said, it's not that you don't want us. You had your own things to do, so you couldn't come find us. Now that you can come find us, does that mean you've finished your work? Chen Xianer, however, didn't make a move and even showed a hint of resistance towards Chu Yu. Feeling the small, warm hand on her cheek and hearing her daughter's ridiculously naive words, Chu Yu smiled through her tears and said chokingly, Mommy has finished her work. So Linger Xianer, will you come back with Mommy? Faced with the maternal love she had longed for since she was little, which was now within reach, Linger shook her head. No. Linger can't go with Mommy. Chu Yu was shocked. Why? Come back with me. I'll prepare a big house for you, one for each of you. As long as you want it, I'll buy it for you, okay? An unexpected question from Xianer immediately left Chu Yu speechless. What about Daddy? Chu Yu stared blankly at the two children, her beautiful eyes filled with complex emotions, not knowing what to say for a moment. Linger nodded. What about Daddy? Do you really not like Daddy? So you don't want to take Daddy with you? Chu Yu bit her red lip lightly. That's right. She didn't know how to face me. Linger pouted. Then if you don't like Daddy and don't want to live with him, then we can go back with you. We want to be with Daddy. Chu Yu forced a smile that was uglier than crying, finding it a bit hard to accept. Why? Linger, Xianer. Don't you want Mommy? Don't you want to be with Mommy? Linger blinked her big eyes and said very sincerely, we do. But Linger can't bear to leave Daddy and doesn't want to leave Daddy. I can't bear to leave Daddy either, and I definitely won't leave Daddy. Chu Yu now understood what her two daughters meant. She didn't want to hurt the two little ones. Almost in an instant, Chu Yu made a decision. So where did your daddy go? A sentence from Linger made Chu Yu freeze. Daddy went to find a new mommy for us. She asked Linger in disbelief. Linger, what did you say? Who did your daddy go to find? Xianer added from the side. Grandma said Daddy went to find a new mommy for us. Daddy is meeting the new mommy right now. Chu Yu clenched her jaw. He doesn't want their real mother here. He just has to find a stepmother for my daughters, right? So Linger, Xianer, do you know where your daddy is? Yes, at the milk tea shop. Daddy said, he'll bring milk tea back for us later. On the other side, a scream from Zhao Huahua nearly shattered the ceiling. What? You already have daughters? Li Xia looked at me with an expression of disbelief, suddenly clenching her fists, her nails digging deep into her palms. What did you say? I have 2 daughters. They're already 5 years old. The hot-tempered Zhao Huahua pulled Li Xia up, looking at me with extreme disgust. She sneered mockingly. No car, but has a house, lives with his parents, no job, and has 2 daughters, and you still dare to come on a blind date? I just shrugged, facing her mockery without saying a word. Daughters? He has daughters, and they're 5 years old, and there are 2 of them. Li Xia couldn't accept it, her face turning ugly. Zhao Huahua said indignantly, Xia, let's go. Don't bother with this low-class man. Who knows if his daughters were picked up from the trash, yet he treats them like treasures, and he even wants you to be a stepmother to his daughters. Just at this moment, a cold voice rang out. Have you said enough? I was about to get angry, but I froze, looking at the person standing behind me. Why are you here? Zhao Huahua and Li Xia also reacted, turning their heads to look, and saw a woman, leading a little girl with one hand, standing behind them. Just a single cold glance, Chu Yoyu's powerful aura and her natural intimidating presence made the previously agitated and indignant Zhao Huahua fall silent, not daring to say another word. Zhao Huahua subconsciously took a step back and only dared to ask from behind Li Xia, Who are you? Linger and Xianer pulled their hands away from Chu Yoyu and rushed into my arms. Daddy. Chu Yoyu's next words further made Zhao Huahua's body go stiff. I am the one you said doesn't want her own children. You said my daughters were picked up from the trash by him. So does that mean you deliberately threw your daughters away? Facing the overwhelmingly imposing Chu Yoyu, who was usually arrogant and aggressive, Zhao Huahua immediately deflated. Chu Yoyu didn't even spare her a glance. She walked past the 2 of them and went straight to me. Her opening words stunned everyone. Come back with me. As long as you agree, I'll raise the conditions. A 300 square meter, 3-story villa, 10 cars under 20 million, you can choose any, and 30 million a month for living expenses. Zhao Huahua's gloating expression froze even more. Remembering the words she had just said, she just wanted to find a hole to crawl into. Chu Yoyu paid no attention to them. Her eyes were fixed on me. What do you think? I didn't answer her question. I just said lightly, you're still the same as before. You like to throw money at people like this? To this, Chu Yoyu didn't argue. I can't help it. I make money too easily. Things that can be solved with money, why waste so much brain power? Do you think money can buy everything? I don't, but I know one thing, everyone has their price. If they don't, it's just that the price you offer isn't high enough. I want to see if I can crush you with money. It should be very interesting. Looking at the arrogant expression and Chu Yoyu's confident words, I sneered, then rolled my eyes at her and ignored her, just leading my 2 daughters away. Just as my foot was about to step out the door, Chu Yoyu's voice rang out again. Let's talk. If you don't, I'll never stop looking for you and our daughters. No matter where you hide, I will find you at any cost. Do you really want to keep our daughters on the run for their whole lives? Chu Yoyu's words made me stop in my tracks. I turned back and said sarcastically, since when did you learn to threaten people? I can't help it. You're someone who doesn't respond to either kindness or force. You can choose to take our daughters and leave right now, but I will do what I just said. I was silent for a moment, then turned back around. My calm voice carried. There's a hotel not far from here. Let's talk there. Seeing that I was finally showing signs of yielding, Chu Yoyu also sighed in relief inwardly. She immediately nodded and followed me out. Watching me leave, Li Xia's eyes were full of complex emotions. What have you been through all these years? Why did things turn out like this? I bought each of the 2 kids a large mango pomelo sago drink, then rented a room by the hour in a hotel. I mean, you're such a big CEO, renting a room with an ordinary person like me? Aren't you afraid the rumors will ruin your reputation? Chu Yoyu glanced at me, knowing I was still holding a grudge about what happened years ago. She immediately attacked back. You already ruined my reputation years ago. Since it's already ruined, what difference does it make if it gets a little worse? I don't care anyway. So actually, who you rent a room with, you don't really care. My words made Chu Yoyu furious. If I weren't holding our 2 daughters, she definitely would have kicked me. Seeing that I could provoke this woman, I felt an indescribable sense of satisfaction. All right, what do you want to say? Say it and then leave quickly. Don't bother the 3 of us. Chu Yoyu's eyebrows furrowed slightly. Do you really hate me that much? I asked in return. Shouldn't I hate you? Knowing that in a verbal spat with me on this topic, she would always be the loser, Chu Yoyu didn't argue further on this issue and went straight to the point. Speak. What conditions do you want for you to agree to let our daughters come back to my side? I lowered my eyes slightly and said, there are no conditions under which I would let our daughters go back to your side. Chu Yoyu sighed softly. I know what you're worried about. Whether you believe it or not, I have never really done anything to you and our daughters, nor have I ever played any tricks on you. Even if you hadn't mentioned it first, I wouldn't have even known about this. What difference does it make whether you knew or not? It doesn't matter whether you did it or not, even if you weren't the one who did those things. Your ignorance doesn't absolve you of your connection to them. So this is the reason you've been avoiding me all these years. It's not because you hated me and wanted to get revenge on me that you took our daughter and ran away for so long. Ha ha, who says I don't hate you? Isn't this woman hateful? She's stupid and troublesome, and she always has that sour look on her face. She can't even take care of herself on a daily basis, yet she wants to take care of our daughter. Keep on dreaming. Chu Yoyu rubbed her slightly aching temples. All right, I'm hateful, I'm stupid, okay? Give me some time. I'll go investigate what happened 5 years ago thoroughly. I will give you an explanation. Before that, you have to come back to Sonthen Town with me first. On what grounds? On the grounds that if you don't come back with me, I'll just stick to you. After all, I've already found you. You can keep running. At worst, I'll just keep chasing you. Right now, you can either come back to Sonthen Town with me and let me support you and your daughter for a while. The previous conditions still stand. Once I've investigated everything clearly, whether you and our daughter want to stay or leave is up to you, or you can keep running, and I'll keep chasing. At worst, I'll just chase you and your daughter for another 8 or 10 years. Unless I die, otherwise, you can forget about having a peaceful life. This time, it was my turn to clench my teeth. Could you be any more shameless? Chu Yoyu couldn't care less. What is pride? I lost it all 6 years ago when a kid like you bit back at me. If you don't come back with me, do you believe that I'll go back and announce to the whole world that you're my husband? I want a peaceful life, my ass. More than a month later, I guess I witnessed again this woman's leech-like persistence. Whenever she had time, Chu Yoyu would come over directly, regardless of whether it was 12 noon or 3 or 4 in the morning, and Linger and Xianer also played very happily with this mother, whom they had never met since birth. In the end, I still agreed with Chu Yoyu to return to Sonthen Town to live for a while. After nearly 6 hours in the car, after 5 years apart, I had finally returned to Sonthen Town. All right, in this building, you'll stay on the 17th floor, you'll be on the 18th. I won't interfere with your life. But one thing, don't you dare bring another woman back to spend the night. And you definitely can't let our daughter see things she shouldn't. If you find someone you like, just let me know. I will prepare money, a car, and a house for myself so that I can be married off in style. But at that time, I want custody of our daughter, and you're not allowed to object. 3 black lines immediately appeared on my forehead. I'm a man. What if I marry into a family? After more than a month of spending days and nights together, Chu Yu had gotten used to bickering with me. She'd feel uncomfortable if she didn't tease me a little. Chu Yu took a set of car keys from her bag and 2 bank cards and threw them in my face. These car and cards are for me? I frowned and said, what are you giving me this for? I don't need it. Besides, the market is quite close. They have everything there. I don't go far anyway. Chu Yu glanced at me. Even if you're just going to the market to buy groceries for me, you have to drive my car. Don't embarrass me. Don't cook tonight. I'll take our daughter out to eat when I get back. After saying that, Chu Yu turned to leave. Seeing that her mother was about to leave, Linger asked with a little worry, Mommy, where are you going? Aren't you staying with us? Hearing her daughter's call, Chu Yu turned around and reached out to stroke Linger's little head. A gentle and doting smile appeared on her beautiful face. Good girl, Linger. Mommy's not going anywhere. Mommy's just going to work. I'll be back tonight. Good girl, Linger. Wait for Mommy to come back. Mommy will take you out for delicious food, okay? Linger obediently nodded. Then Mommy, please drive carefully. Linger will wait for Mommy to come back. Xianer, you too. Chu Yu affectionately pinched the small faces of these 2 adorable children, turned around and got in the car. Xianer didn't say anything, but she also waved at her. I could vaguely hear this woman muttering curses as she closed the car door. A bunch of useless people. Rush, rush, rush. What's there to rush about? You can't do anything without me, can you? Sooner or later, I'll fire all of you. Hearing Chu Yu's curses, watching her back as she stepped on the gas and left, the corner of my mouth twitched. When did this stupid woman learn my habit of cursing? Didn't she hate cursing the most? Daddy, from today on, we'll be living with Mommy, right? I nodded slightly. You could say that. Anyway, it'll be very easy for you to see your mother from now on. Linger blinked her big bright eyes. But we're about to live with Mommy, so why don't you look happy at all? I stroked her little head and forced a smile onto my face. Of course not, Linger, Xianer. Let's go up and see the new house. Later, Daddy will take you for a walk around the area. We might be staying here for a while. I led Linger and the kids to the room where Chu Yu used to stay. Linger, Xianer, can you 2 sleep in this big room? Linger looked up and asked, what about Daddy? Where will Daddy sleep? Daddy will be in the room next door. Linger pulled on my hand, puffed out her rosy cheeks and said, but Linger wants to sleep with Daddy. Xianer grabbed my other hand. Xianer too. I chuckled helplessly. No, you can't. You're so big now, you should learn to sleep by yourselves. Didn't you used to sleep on your own before? That's because Daddy never came home. One aggrieved sentence from Linger instantly made my heart melt. All right, fine, but you have to promise Daddy, once you start elementary school, you have to start sleeping on your own. 8 p.m. Chu group. Chu Yu was half lying on her chair, her long, slender, jade-like hands rubbing her temples. The exhaustion on her beautiful face was evident. All right, it's time to go home and take my daughter to eat. Xiao Nuan. When Xiao Nuan walked in, Xiao Chu, do you have any instructions? Chu Yu tidied up her things while saying, I'm not coming back tonight. Tell Xiao Lin and the others not to wait for me. I can drive myself. When Xiao Nuan hesitated for a moment. But your father said he wants you to come home for dinner tonight. You haven't been home in almost a month. They're very worried about you. He specifically told me to tell you that you must come home today, saying there's a guest at home who wants to see you. Chu Yu's hands paused slightly. Help me decline. Just say I have something urgent right now. When I'm free, I'll go back later. After saying that, Chu Yu hurriedly left. Wen Xiaonuan parted her lips, wanting to say something more, but in the end, she didn't say it. She just smiled wryly. Just as Chu Yu took the elevator to the first floor, before she even stepped out the main door, a charming voice suddenly rang out. Yu. Chu Yu looked in the direction of the voice. Jibo Da. The man walked up to Chu Yu and held out the large bouquet of roses in his hands to her. For you, your favorite roses. Chu Yu didn't reach out to take the bouquet, she just said indifferently, I don't like roses anymore. The thorns pricked my hands. Regarding Chu Yu's rejection, Jibo Da wasn't too surprised. Ever since 5 years ago, Chu Yu had never accepted his flowers again. Then what flowers do you like? I'll go buy them for you right now. I don't like any flowers. Don't block my way. I have to go out. Chu Yu hurriedly walked around Jibo Da, not even sparing him a glance. Do you really not want to see me that much? Jibo Da suddenly shouted. His charming voice trembled slightly. He wanted to reach out and grab Chu Yu's arm to make her stay. But as soon as he touched her, Chu Yu immediately shook his hand off. Chu Yu gave him a cold look and said words that made Jibo Da freeze. Jibo Da, don't force me to hate you completely. If you dare to block me again, I'll make you lie down here and never get up again. Jibo Da couldn't believe that the Chu Yu of today could actually say such words to him. Seeing Chu Yu get angry just because of his presence, Jibo Da's eyes immediately darkened. Watching Chu Yu's hurriedly departing back, Jibo Da pursed his thin lips slightly and muttered to himself, Yu, can we really not go back to how we were before? Do you really hate me that much now? Just because of that one thing I said back then? It was almost 9 o'clock when Chu Yu got back to Sunthen Town. Looking at our two daughters who had waited until they were about to fall asleep, and my not-so-pleasant expression, she, who was always cold and never explained herself, smiled awkwardly, as if trying to justify being late. There was a lot of work at the company, plus a bit of traffic, so I was late. As soon as these words left her mouth, Chu Yo-yu suddenly realized, why was she explaining herself to this man? She came back to take her daughter out to eat. What did it have to do with him? Before she could get angry, my next words made her pause. Are you planning to go eat with our daughter dressed like that? Chu Yu looked down at her business attire, her delicate brows furrowing slightly. Is there a problem? No problem. Let's go. Where are we eating? Chu Yu led the three of us, one big and two small, and drove to a seafood restaurant. Come on, Linger, Xianer, order whatever you want to eat. As if afraid the two of them couldn't read, Chu Yu added, just order whatever picture you think looks delicious. Unexpectedly, Linger handed it back to me. Daddy, you order first. What does Daddy like to eat? Seeing my daughter favoring me like this, Chu Yu's rosy lips pouted and her beautiful eyes filled with displeasure. I dotingly stroked Linger's little head, ordered a few dishes, all of which were the two kids' favorites, and then handed the menu back to Linger. Linger hugged the menu, which was almost as big as her, and looked at it for a while, then handed it to Chu Yu. Mommy, you order. The dishes my sister and I like are all there. Chu Yu immediately ordered a huge table full of food, making my eyelids twitch repeatedly. I had just glanced at the prices on this menu. None of the dishes were cheap. But thinking about this woman's status and the speed at which she earns money like flowing water, I found it normal again. I've always loved seafood. In the past, for a lavish seafood meal, I could spend half a summer break using money from a part-time job to buy seafood and make a seafood feast to treat myself. Perhaps the two kids inherited my gene for loving seafood. They've also loved seafood since they were little. Ling Er and Xianer, whether it was peeling shrimp, cracking shells, were very skilled. So much so that Chu Yu had intentionally ordered a few unpeeled dishes so that she could peel shrimp for her daughter and experience that feeling. The result was that her daughter peeled shrimp even more skillfully than she did, not needing her at all. Hey Daddy, eat some shrimp. Watching my two daughters take turns feeding me, Chu Yu watched with her eyelids twitching repeatedly. A scent of jealousy spread throughout the private room. Chu Yu, with a blank expression, kicked my leg lightly under the table. While enjoying my daughter peeling shrimp for me, I looked up at Chu Yu with a puzzled expression. Chu Yu said indifferently, other fathers peel shrimp and crack crabs for their daughters. How come when it's your turn, it's the daughter's job? Don't you have hands and feet? I could tell this woman was jealous because our daughter was peeling shrimp for me and not for her, so I countered, no need, I have a daughter. Chu Yu was heavily struck by my one sentence, spitting out 2 liters of fresh blood in her heart. Frustrated, Chu Yu immediately ordered an expensive bottle of foreign liquor and drank straight from the bottle. I frowned. You're driving and you're still drinking? Chu Yu was extremely upset and said coldly, don't you know how to drive? Choked by Chu Yu's one sentence, I said nothing more. It was only then that Linger realized she hadn't peeled a shrimp for her mother to eat. She hurriedly peeled one for her. Mommy, eat. Do I need you to peel this shrimp for me? Don't I have hands and feet? I don't know if it was because she drank half a bottle of foreign liquor in one go and was a little tipsy, or because she was upset for the first time. Chu Yu used the coldest tone and ruthlessly said a sentence to Linger. Being treated by Chu Yu with such a cold scolding for the first time, Linger immediately became flustered. Her big, round black eyes welled up with aggrieved tears. I noticed my daughter's unusual behavior and embarrassment and hurriedly came to the rescue. If she won't eat it, give it to Daddy. Daddy's still hungry. Rescued, Linger then brought that shrimp to my mouth. Xianer even said to Linger, Sister, peel one for me. I love eating the shrimp you peel the most. You keep peeling for Daddy, not for me. Linger nodded and peeled another one for her younger sister. But being rejected the first time she peeled a shrimp for her mother, the little girl was extremely hurt. Facing this lavish seafood feast, she no longer had the same appetite as usual. I glanced coldly at Chu Yu. Perhaps also noticing this cold atmosphere, Chu Yu finally reacted. Looking at Linger with her head down, rubbing her small hands with an aggrieved expression, Chu Yu's heart tightened to the extreme. What did I just do? Wasn't it just because she didn't peel a shrimp for me? In an instant, Chu Yu also panicked. Her mind went blank. I'm sorry, Linger. Mommy has been a little stressed lately. I didn't mean to talk to you like that. Seeing a panicked Chu Yu, Linger looked up, her small face trying to force a smile as she said, It's not Mommy's fault. It's because Linger wasn't mindful of Mommy's mood and only peeled shrimp for Daddy, but not for Mommy. It's Linger's fault. Linger won't do it again next time. Hearing her daughter's words, Chu Yu felt even more, like her heart was being pricked by 10,000 needles. It was very uncomfortable. She quickly pulled Linger into her arms and said apologetically, It's not Linger's fault. It's Mommy. Mommy shouldn't have lost her temper with you. I'm sorry, Linger. It's okay, Mommy. Linger doesn't blame Mommy. Let's eat. Linger isn't full yet. Chu Yu sniffled, nodded, and said with a slight choke in her voice, Okay. Afterwards, Chu Yu was afraid she would lose her temper again and yell at Ling Er, so she didn't dare to touch another drop of alcohol. Ling Er also peeled another shrimp for her to eat. Seeing that she ate it, a smile returned to Ling Er's face. Chu Yu also experienced for the first time the feeling of peeling food for her daughter. Xianer seemed to be angry at Chu Yu for yelling at Linger just now. She didn't peel any for her, only peeling one for me. At this moment, Chu Yu didn't notice Xianer's mood. She personally fed Linger a piece of crab roe. The moment she saw Linger eat the food she fed her, a sense of satisfaction spread throughout her body. On the way back, because Chu Yu had been drinking, I was the only one who could drive back. Arriving at the 17th floor, Chu Yu wished her daughters good night. Good night, Ling Xianer. Mommy will come find you again tomorrow. Bye-bye, Mommy. Good night, Mommy. Bye-bye. As for me, Chu Yu just glanced at me and ignored me. That arrogant expression seemed to be saying, "You made me jealous. You don't deserve my good night wishes," and I just directly ignored this woman. It's not like she's only deserved a beating for a day or two. The moment the elevator doors closed, Chu Yu suddenly frowned, clutching her stomach with one hand. Her beautiful face also turned pale. Damn it, why does it hurt again? Helpless, she could only lean against the wall and stagger back to her room. She struggled to pull open a drawer and found a medicine bottle inside. With all her remaining strength, she finally twisted open the cap and poured, but the result was nothing. Just as Chu Yu wanted to find her phone to call 115, a voice she both loved and hated rang out. "Idiot, what's wrong with you?" Chu Yu gritted her teeth, enduring the intense pain, and pushed herself up with her hands on the bed. She looked at me with gloomy eyes and asked coldly, "How did you get in here?" Looking at this foolish woman, who was clearly in great discomfort but still had to pretend to be cold and arrogant, I found it a little funny. "Your door wasn't closed. Anyone could come in." Seeing her keep clutching her stomach with her hand, I teased, "What? Pregnant again? Then why are you still here fighting with me for our daughter?" Chu Yu grabbed a pillow and threw it at me, feeling both angry and annoyed. This bastard doesn't even see what the situation is right now, yet he still dares to come and provoke her. I reached out and caught the pillow, placing one hand on my hip. The teasing smile on my face also faded a little. "Is your stomach problem acting up again?" Chu Yu said nothing, clearly sulking. "Weren't you cured before? Why is it happening again?" Hearing my words, which sounded like a reproach, Chu Yu said coldly, "Who are you to me? Do I have to report my illnesses to you?" "That's true. Even if you died, I wouldn't care." The words were spoken, but I still took out from my pocket a bottle of medicine and threw it to Chu Yu. Looking at the bottle with not a single word on it, Chu Yu frowned slightly. "What is this?" "Stomach medicine. Take it and it won't hurt anymore. Of course, you can also consider it poison, that I'm using to poison you." Chu Yu looked at the medicine in her hand, suddenly raised her hand, and threw the medicine bottle into a corner. "If it's poison, then I won't drink it. I still want to take care of my daughter for a few more years. Suit yourself." Seeing that the reverse psychology didn't work, I shrugged, threw the pillow onto her bed, and turned and left without any hesitation. Seeing my decisive departing back, Chu Yu was so angry she gritted her teeth. This bastard really left. Provoked by me, Chu Yu looked at the medicine bottle in the corner of the room and snorted contemptuously. She leaned against the headboard and took out her phone to make a call. Soon, the other end of the line was picked up. "Hello, what's up, Boss Chu?" Chu Yu suppressed her pain and asked, "Where are you? I'm still at the hospital." Chu Yu frowned. "With your condition, working the night shift could easily lead to problems." "Oh, it's fine. I have nothing to do anyway. What's wrong?" "Then come over here for a bit. My stomach hurts." Hearing that, Chu Yu had a stomach ache. The voice on the other end was stunned for a moment, then started to scold Chu Yu. "I told you not to drink so much alcohol, not to stay up so late. See, it's hurting again, isn't it? All right, stop scolding me. Hurry up and bring the medicine over for me. Why do I have a best friend like you calling me every night to treat you? It's so miserable. Besides, I'm in Shancheng Town right now, not in Guangfu. By the time I fly over, you'd have already died from the pain." Seemingly remembering something, that voice suddenly said, "Oh right, didn't Jibota come back? Isn't his house very close to yours? Just tell him to go buy medicine for you. Take this chance to reconcile your relationship. If you keep talking nonsense, believe it or not, I'll tell everyone about you bedwetting at 18 and that thing when you were 16 with that guy." One sentence from Chu Yu immediately made Chu Shuir freeze up. After hearing her, she got her hackles up. Stop, don't say it, don't say it. If you don't want me to spill, hurry over and save me. I'm in Shancheng Town. Be careful, or I'll put you on the news tomorrow." Hearing that her secret was about to be exposed, the voice on the other end was immediately shocked. "I'm coming right now to save my best friend. I'm willing to go through fire and water. I won't hesitate. It's the building you used to live in. 17th floor, right? I'm on my way. We'll be there in a flash. I'm on the 18th floor. What, you moved? Cut the crap. That's not the point. Coming. Don't tell, okay? Especially that last thing." 5 minutes later. With the sound of screeching brakes echoing through the residential area, a Bugatti Veyron stopped in front of a building. A figure rushed out, entered the elevator, and went straight up to the 18th floor. "Boss Chu, I'm here." Already in unbearable pain, Chu Yu opened her eyes to look. A woman with a hot, curvaceous body, wearing a long white dress with dyed blonde hair, with a black jacket tied around her waist, wearing a pair of half-rimmed gold-framed glasses, appeared in her room. Chu Shuir looked at Chu Yu, who was about to collapse from pain. She hurriedly opened her small medicine box and took out a bottle of medicine from inside. "Take this first. It can relieve the pain. Chu Yu took the medicine. Chu Shuir got her a glass of water to wash it down. Then she took out from the medicine box a syringe and 2 small glass vials and gave her a shot. A long time later, Chu Yu finally felt the pain subside. Chu Shuir asked while cleaning up, "Did you skip a meal again and then drink alcohol, right? How did you know? Nonsense, you reek of alcohol. I could tell just by smelling." Chu Yu breathed into her palm and sniffed it. "Luckily, I only drank half a bottle this time. The alcohol content wasn't high either." Chu Shuir's eyelid twitched. How high was the proof? "If you keep doing this, your stomach will really be ruined." I know. There won't be a next time. This time was just because I was angry." Speaking of this, Chu Yu gritted her teeth in hatred again. Chu Shuir asked a little curiously, "Who was it? Who could make you this angry? Jiboda?" "No, it's another despicable guy. Sooner or later, you'll find a chance to deal with him. The father of your daughter." "Did you have to guess so accurately?" Chu Shuir glanced at her. "Besides the bastard you always say ruined your whole life and even took your daughter away, I really can't think of a second person who could make you this angry. By the way, didn't you say you found them? Wouldn't it be easy for you to get revenge on him?" Chu Yu was silent for a moment. She wasn't thinking about getting revenge on me, just complaining to her best friend. "So where are they now? On the 17th floor where I used to live. You sure act fast." "So fast, you've already subdued the father and his daughters." Chu Shuir gave a meaningful smile. "And you even arranged for them to be on the 17th floor. What, are you planning to sneak in at midnight and pin him down to rekindle your past relationship? Be serious for me." Okay, serious. So, you plan to hide them here? What else? It was so hard for me to find them. If I don't hide them here, where would I hide them?" Chu Shuir sighed softly. "Hiding them like this is useless. Your unusual actions for over a month have already been noticed by your parents. With their methods, they'll find out about this place sooner or later." Chu Yu was silent for a moment, then shook her head and said, "I can't let them know about my daughter and Chenfan, at least not before that matter is clearly investigated." Chu Shuir frowned slightly, still suspecting that it's related to your parents? "No matter how ruthless they are, they wouldn't go so far as to harm your daughter, right? After all, she is your own flesh and blood." Chu Yu let out a soft breath and said with a bit of a headache, "It's hard to say. In the beginning, they already had issues with me, starting a business on my own. On top of that, something like this happened to me. I'm even more seen as the disgrace of the Chu family. If this gets out, the Chu family's reputation will be ruined. I can't guarantee that they wouldn't do something for the sake of the Chu family's reputation, and I don't want to bet my daughter's life on it. This is why for the past 5 years, you've tried every way to hide them." Chu Yu looked up and nodded slightly. "Before that incident is clearly investigated, I will absolutely not let them see my daughter. It's up to you, just be careful. I'll help you hide it if I can. When necessary, you'll see if I can persuade my parents and my brother to help you. Thanks. Don't mention it. Saying that between us is too distant. Just don't reveal those secrets of mine." Hearing this, Chu Yu couldn't help but smile. She and Chu Shuir were childhood best friends. There were almost no secrets between them. They were closer than blood sisters. Looking at the black windbreaker that Chu Shuir had tied around her waist, Chu Yu suddenly asked, "What? You still haven't forgotten him? This jacket is his, right? It's been so many years and you still carry it with you." Touching the arguably cheap jacket on her, Chu Shuir pursed her lips and said with a casual smile, "It would be great if I could forget that easily. I wouldn't have ended up like this. Actually, it's not impossible for you two to be together. Although you're distant relatives, in the end, you two no longer have any blood relation. Why be so hung up on that?" Chu Shuir sat down on Chu Yu's bed, her eyes a little gloomy. "I'm not hung up on that. I can also feel that he doesn't mind it either, otherwise he wouldn't have endured those gossips to be with me." Chu Yu was quiet for a moment. She knew her best friend's stubbornness. "Okay, I'll leave the medicine here for you. Remember to take it on time. You should get some good rest. I'm going back to my night shift. If I'm out for too long, the director will scold me." Saying that, Chu Shuir put down a bottle of stomach medicine and stood up to leave. Chu Yu pouted. "You're not going to stay with me?" "No, you're a big girl now. Besides, if you need someone to stay, it should be your husband and child." To this remark, Chu Yu just rolled her eyes. "What's this?" Chu Shuir saw the medicine bottle in the corner of the room and bent down to pick it up. Seeing Chu Shuir pick up the medicine bottle, Chu Yu hurriedly snatched it back. "That's mine. Give it back to me." Chu Shuir asked curiously, "What kind of medicine is that? Could it be?" Chu Yu raised her hand and gave her a knock on the head. "What is this little head of yours thinking about all day? This is my stomach medicine." "Where did your thoughts wander off to?" Chu Shuir grumbled in dissatisfaction. "Are you crazy? You already had stomach medicine, so why did you call me over? Just take it yourself, rest a bit, that would have been fine. You made me rush all the way over here, it's so tiring." Chu Yu said casually, "I was just worried this medicine might not be effective. Someone else gave me this medicine. It has no brand name and no manufacturer. Who knows if this medicine works? Or maybe some quack doctor prescribed it carelessly." At the same time, in the bathroom on the 17th floor, I was taking a shower when I suddenly felt my nose itch. Achoo, who could be cursing me? They'll draw a circle to curse you. May you forever have only 1 square of toilet paper left. Hearing Chu Yu's explanation, Chu Shuir shrugged. She understood her best friend's personality. She could also vaguely guess who gave her this bottle of medicine. Otherwise, she wouldn't have such a sarcastic tone. Throwing it away and then snatching it back. Up to you. Since it's medicine from an unknown source, don't just take it recklessly. If it's no good, just throw it away. It's not worth it if you get a stomachache because of this medicine prescribed by some unknown quack doctor. Mom, I know. Drive carefully. Don't drink so much alcohol anymore. I know. I'm going back to my night shift. Be careful. You're getting old. Chu Shuier stuck her tongue out and teased her. I am forever 18. Besides, I'm a few months younger than you. Speaking of getting old, you're older than me. Chu Yoyu grabbed a pillow and threw it straight at her. Chu Shuier giggled and ran away, leaving only the sound of her pleasant, mischievous laughter. Back in the car, the smiling expression on Chu Shuier's face gradually faded. From the jacket she couldn't bear to throw away, she took out a yellowed photograph from the pocket. Her slender, fair, jade-like hand gently caressed the man in the photo. Chu Shuier murmured, "Where on earth did you go? I miss you so much. Can you come to my dreams tonight? I have so much to tell you." But in a place she couldn't see, a pair of eyes was watching her intently. From the moment she arrived, went upstairs, and came down, those eyes had always been there. From beginning to end, those eyes were terrifyingly calm, terrifyingly empty. A faint red layer covered his pupils, adding to his strange and frightening appearance. In the blink of an eye, those eyes disappeared, and on the wall there, 5 deep finger marks were left behind. At this moment in the small room on the 17th floor, I held Linger with one arm while the other gently patted her back. I softly hummed a few tunes to coax her to sleep. Her small hand gripped my shirt, her head resting on my chest with her eyes closed. Her small, rosy, soft mouth was slightly open. A clear stream of drool flowed from the corner of her mouth. I stood by the window. The view from here just happened to see that dark corner. Those eyes probably never would have guessed, even in their dreams, that while he was watching Chu Shuier, I was also watching him. Until those eyes disappeared, the movement of my hands paused slightly. The emotions in my eyes rippled slightly, as if I was thinking about something. Perhaps dissatisfied with me stopping my hand, Linger, sleeping in my arms, let out a soft grunt, and her small body stirred. I resumed patting her back gently, and continued humming the tune. Only then did Linger satisfyingly use her little face to rub against my chest. Looking at that corner, I murmured, "I didn't expect you to appear here. This is a little interesting." Knock, knock, knock. The sound of knocking made the just-woken Chu Yoyu frown slightly. Who would be knocking on her door this early in the morning? Not many people knew she was here. My parents wouldn't come here this early. That bastard Chen Fan is impossible. Isn't Chu Shuier working the night shift? Jiboda is a possibility. The moment she thought it might be Jiboda, Chu Yoyu's already bad mood soured even more. But when she opened the door and saw who was knocking, the grumpy and annoyed expression from just waking up immediately vanished, replaced by a bit of surprise and joy. "Linger, why are you here?" That's right, the person knocking wasn't Chu Shuier, nor was it Jiboda, and it certainly wasn't me. It was her beloved daughter, Linger. At this moment, Linger was wearing a tracksuit. Her small, rosy face was covered in sweat, and she was carrying a small basket in her hand. "Mommy, breakfast." Chu Yoyu's eyes softened. She squatted down and took the small basket. Before even opening it, a fragrant aroma wafted out. Chu Yoyu opened it to look. Inside was a bowl of steaming hot lean pork congee. It smelled delicious, and inside there was also milk, an egg, and a few peeled and sliced apple pieces. Chu Yoyu's expression was complicated. She couldn't help but ask, "Did your dad tell you to bring this over?" "No." Linger's one sentence shattered Chu Yoyu's illusion. Chu Yoyu mocked herself internally. I hate him so much. How could he have his daughter bring breakfast to me? Besides, if he really wanted to bring it, why would he have his daughter bring it? Couldn't he come himself? Then this is the breakfast Linger brought for Mommy. Then Linger, how did you know that Mommy hadn't eaten breakfast? Because earlier when Linger went for a morning run with Dad, Linger talked with Dad. Dad mentioned that Mommy often skips breakfast. But Dad taught Linger, a person must eat breakfast, otherwise it's not good for the stomach. So Linger saw that we had leftover breakfast at home, so I brought it over for Mommy. Hearing Linger's words, Chu Yoyu raised an eyebrow slightly. Logically speaking, Chen Fan and his daughter have lived together for so long. It's impossible for him not to know their portion sizes. It's unlikely he would cook extra breakfast. Besides, how could it be such a coincidence that exactly one portion of breakfast was left over? For a moment, Chu Yoyu felt like she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then Mommy thanks Linger. You're such a good girl, Linger. You're welcome. Just remember to eat breakfast, Mommy. Then Linger is going downstairs now. Linger hasn't eaten breakfast yet either. If when Dad comes back and sees Linger hasn't eaten breakfast, he will scold Linger too. Chu Yoyu was a little surprised. Your dad went out? Linger nodded. Yes, Dad went out after exercising with Linger. Linger, did you climb the stairs to get up here? Just thinking of this, Chu Yoyu wanted to tear me to shreds. You must know that with Linger's height, she can't press the floor button. Linger quickly waved her hands. No. Dad brought me and Jianer home before he left. After Linger got home, she saw there was leftover breakfast on the table, so she packed it up and brought it to Mommy. Linger's words further confirmed Chu Yoyu's thoughts. So Chu Yoyu asked, Then Linger, where did your dad go? Is he really okay with leaving you girls at home alone like this? Linger thought for a moment and said, I don't know, Dad didn't tell Linger. But it's okay. Shiana and I can take good care of ourselves when we're home alone. Hearing this, Chu Yoyu was both happy about her daughter's maturity and heartbroken that she was so mature. Chu Yoyu tried to suppress the stinging sensation rising in her nose. Linger, were you often at home alone before? It was normal, just occasionally. Dad has to go to work. He has to earn money to raise me and Shiana so we don't go hungry. So sometimes he has to be gone for a long time, leaving just me and Shiana at home, and Aunt Yuting. Hearing this, Chu Yoyu couldn't hold it in anymore. The corners of her eyes stung. A teardrop welled up in the corner of her eye. Then goodbye, Mommy. Linger is going back now. Seeing Linger about to go down the stairs by herself, Chu Yoyu hurriedly stopped her. Let Mommy take you back. It's not safe for you to go down the stairs alone. Linger shook her head and said with a smile, It's okay, Mommy. Linger is very good at climbing stairs. Before, Linger once by herself climbed 7 floors of stairs alone. But later, Dad didn't let me climb anymore. He only allowed me to climb 3 floors at most. Otherwise, he would spank me. Linger, don't say anymore. Chiyuyu tried to suppress the heartache in her heart and scooped the little girl up. She forced a smile onto her beautiful face. Mommy will take you back. You climbing the stairs alone? Mommy isn't at ease. Okay then. No trouble, Mommy then. Saying that, Linger gave Chiyuyu a kiss on the cheek. Chiyuyu's heart melted. She also took the opportunity to kiss her daughter's chubby little face. Ah, Mommy. Linger's face is all sweaty. It's okay, Mommy doesn't mind. Let Mommy wipe the sweat for you. Yes, thank you, Mommy. Linger, from now on, can you not thank Mommy? This is what Mommy should do. But Dad said Linger must be polite. That's for outsiders. Mommy is not an outsider. Got it? Yes. Linger understands now. After taking Linger back to the 17th floor, Chuyoyu returned to her own place. Looking at the bowl of lean pork congee, her eyes were very complicated. 6 years ago, when her stomach was not well, that bastard was the same. He cooked congee for her every day. It seems it was also after I came to take care of her. My stomach problems haven't flared up again either. Stomach problems are easy to cure at the beginning. As for why now, this damn stomach problem still exists. It's entirely Chu Yuyu's own doing. Ever since Chen Fan took their daughters away, Chu Yuyu has devoted herself entirely to her career. Naturally, social engagements increased. Many times, she didn't even have time for breakfast. Or like last night, she drank on an empty stomach. Messing around like that, let alone having had stomach problems before, even if she didn't, she would have tortured herself into sickness. Chu Yoyu scooped up a little hot porridge with a spoon. She brought it to her lips and blew on it. Then she put it in her mouth, savoring the taste that was almost identical to 6 years ago. She held her forehead with one hand and ate the porridge with a spoon in the other, feeling her cold stomach that had been this way for years, finally warming up at this moment. Shancheng Hospital. After another all-night shift, Chu Suir walked out, rubbing her temples. The rising sun shone directly into her eyes, causing her to squint instinctively, and at that very moment, a man in a suit, who looked handsome but a bit ruffian-like, the handsome, ruffian-like man walked over. Shui Ni? I asked with concern. Why are you on the night shift again? Don't you know your own body? As I spoke, I wanted to reach out and support Chu Suir, but Chu Suir pushed my hand away. Looking at the man in front of her, Ji Lin, will you stop? I told you not to bother with me anymore. It's impossible between us. Even if we can't be lovers, we're still friends. How can I see my friend so tired? And not care. It's not like you don't understand my personality. Chu Suir glanced at me and said, It's precisely because I understand your personality that I know that as friends, I should keep my distance from you even more. You are good at everything, except you're too devoted. Ji Lingchen was silent for a moment. He couldn't help but ask, Is being devoted not a good thing? Chu Suir tapped her head lightly with her hand, murmuring with a bit of a headache, I'm not saying devoted people are bad, it's just that overly devoted people are often very extreme. If they get what they want, I would spoil the other person to the heavens. If they don't, there's a high chance I would go to the other extreme. Wouldn't I? For a moment, Ji Lingchen didn't dare to look at her directly. He averted his gaze, then clenched his fist tightly. His lips were slightly pursed. It's precisely because I know your personality. That's why when you confessed to me a few days ago, I rejected you so bluntly. Of course, even without this reason, I would have still rejected you very bluntly. Being devoted isn't wrong. Liking only one person isn't wrong either. What's wrong is that your devotion shouldn't be for me. Ji Lingchen's eyes, which were like an ancient well, flashed with a complex emotion. My voice became a little deep. Is this the reason you rejected me? Being devoted isn't wrong, but it shouldn't be for me. My heart can't hold anyone else anymore. You're just wasting your time on me. A hint of darkness flashed in Ji Lingchen's eyes. His tightly clenched fists couldn't help but show bulging veins. I couldn't help but question him with a low growl. Am I that kind of person in your heart? We've known each other for over 10 years. How could I? I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. A single sentence from Chu Suir directly extinguished the anger that had just flared up in Ji Ling. Ji Ling looked at Chu Suir, confused. He didn't know why she would say such things. Seeing Ji Ling's doubtful gaze, Chu Suir was silent for a moment. She waved her hand. Forget it. I'm too lazy to explain to you. Anyway, this is the end for us. If you still want to be my friend, then keep your distance from me. Just don't bother me. Ji Lingchen was silent for a moment. He suddenly relaxed his fists. His tone also became much more relaxed. So there's really no chance for us? Chu Shuir answered very decisively. She half leaned against her sports car, suddenly laughed and asked Ji Lingchen, "Say, Ji Lingchen, are you sick or something? There are so many good girls in this world. Why must you cling to someone like me who doesn't have you in her heart?" Ji Lingchen looked at her deeply. His tone suddenly became much gentler. "Because the one I like is you. Even if there's only a 1 in 10,000 chance, I still want to fight for it." Chu Shuir glanced at me. She opened the car door and got in. Waving at me, she spoke to me in the tone of an experienced person. "Don't be such a lovesick fool in the future. You'll only harm yourself, not others. And don't always think you can move someone. That's just you being delusional. The other person won't change at all." Ji Lingchen stared blankly at Chu Shuir's departing back. It took him a long time to come to his senses. "I never thought about changing. I just want to be by your side more. Even just looking at you one more time is enough. It's a pity that in your eyes, it seems, there has never been a place for me, and what I absolutely didn't expect was, if I had really followed Chu Shuir's words and taken an extreme path, and did something while Chu Shuir was in this state, I would disappear from this world forever." In a corner, a pair of eyes was watching everything, seeing how things unfolded. Just as I was about to leave, a hand landed on my shoulder. A warm voice also rang out. "It's not good to secretly watch others like this. It's not good." "Or is she your target?" Jiling's body suddenly stiffened. Immediately after, a vicious glint flashed in his eyes. He fiercely elbowed the other person in the stomach, but this elbow strike was easily blocked by him. "Haven't seen you in a while. Your temper is getting worse and worse. Don't you even recognize my voice?" Seeing him smiling and talking, the other person grinned. "I knew it was you, so I wanted to take you down a peg. I didn't expect I still couldn't beat you." He extended his hand to pull me up and asked, "When did you get back? Should I call you Jiling or Jidong?" "I've been back for a few months." Jidong dusted off his clothes and said, "You teased with another sentence? Those old guys were willing to let you go?" Jidong pouted. "They had no choice, even if they weren't. It was agreed from the beginning. I'd leave after those things were done. If it weren't for the good conditions they offered back then, who would do these things? Speaking of which, they even kept me for an extra year." Speaking of this, I paused for a moment, looking at him with a teasing expression. "Then why were they willing to let you go? They value you much more than me." He chuckled lightly. "It's not really letting me go. We still have a cooperative relationship. Anyway, it was useless being there, so I came back to spend more time with my daughters." Jidong stretched and said lazily, "Forget about them. Anyway, there are only 2 weak chickens left. They can't cause any trouble. Since our responsibilities have been fulfilled, then it's our turn to retire and enjoy life. Let's go. Haven't seen you in a long time. I'll treat you to morning tea. I know a great morning tea place nearby." I laughed and said, "Forget it. Going for Guangfu-style morning tea this early. The line must be insanely long." "What's to fear? I'm the owner of that place. I have a private room." "You couldn't help but tease, you brat. You're as stingy as ever, treating me to a meal and it's at your own place. Can't you be a little more generous?" Jidong chuckled. "It's not that. I just feel that the morning tea outside, the dim sum isn't quite authentic. It doesn't have the taste from our childhood anymore. So I thought of opening a place for fun. Let's go, bro. I'll take you to enjoy authentic Guangfu-style morning tea dim sum." "Get lost, since when am I your bro? I'm your master. Jidong, show me some respect, or I'll beat you up." Got it. Master, let's go. Let's go have morning tea." Arriving at a restaurant, Jidong indeed found a private room. He ordered more than 20 kinds of dim sum. All of them are the specialties here. I took a sip of tea and asked, "Who was that girl just now? I saw you following her for a long time. Is she your prey this time?" Jidong's chopsticks, about to pick up a chicken foot, paused. His eyes also dimmed a little. "No, she's my ex-girlfriend." "Is she the girlfriend you mentioned before?" You were a little surprised. Even the reason why Jidong willingly became a test subject for the modification was all because of that girlfriend of his. This kid's got good taste. At first, I thought you were just bragging, always talking about how beautiful your girlfriend was. Looking at it now, this kid is not bad. Jidong smiled bitterly. "What's so good about it? It's all in the past. She's not my girlfriend anymore." "What happened between you two? Did you fight? Why did you break up?" Jidong was silent for a moment. He sighed. "We broke up a long time ago. We were already in a cold war before I became a modified person. Then, before I could get a reply from her, I was dragged by those people to join the Modified Person project. By the time I came back, we had tacitly broken up." Speaking of this, Jidong's tone became even more helpless. "And moreover, her parents didn't approve of us being together in the first place. Although we are cousins, the difference in our family backgrounds is too great." Before Jidong could finish, "You knocked on my head. You two are already cousins. It'd be strange if her parents agreed." Jidong held his head. With a wronged expression, he said no. "We're past 3 generations of kinship. I call her mother, cousin, aunt. We're 4th generation maternal relatives. Regardless of blood relation or law, we can be together." I coughed twice. Misunderstanding. You should have said so earlier. You made me think otherwise." I didn't talk for long, because I still have 2 daughters waiting for me at home. When I was leaving, Jidong packed some dim sum. He told me to bring it back for the 2 little girls to eat. As for those 2 little ones, Jidong also adores them very much. It's just a pity that his evil aura is getting heavier. Now he doesn't dare to get too close to the two children. Before leaving, Jidong placed a hand on my shoulder. He asked with a smile, "Afraid of any accidents? Are you sure you don't want to come work at my company? I already said I'd make you the CEO. It's fine if you want to slack off. It's fine if you want to play around. You can name your own salary." I smiled and waved my hand. Forget it. I still prefer to live the life of an ordinary person. Mulao has already arranged for me to be a PE teacher at a university. It's not far from where I live. That way I can take better care of the two kids. Up to you. Anyway, call me if anything comes up. Very quickly, I returned home with a box of dim sum. Before I could even change my shoes, a small figure flew out from some corner and crashed into my arms. "Daddy," I picked up Linger and gently tapped her nose with my finger. Smiling dotingly, "I told you to slow down. What if you fall?" Linger giggled and hugged my neck. Her little head rubbed hard against my chest, and Xianer, who was always half a beat slower, walked over slowly. She could never win the first place spot. At this moment, her little face was full of resentment. She pitifully held out her small hands. All right, Daddy will carry you too." I also pulled Xianer into my arms, one in each arm, not neglecting either one, and not showing favoritism to either one. "Daddy, what's this? Is it something yummy?" Xianer looked at the box I was carrying. She placed her small, fair finger on her lips, looking like a little glutton. I nodded. "It's dim sum. Uncle Jidong asked me to bring it back for you guys." Linger was surprised. "Uncle G is here too?" "Yes, but he's a bit busy right now. How about when he's free, Daddy will take you to see Uncle G, okay?" Linger clapped her hands happily. Linger hasn't seen Uncle G in a long time. Xianer nodded vigorously. Xianer too. "Uncle Jidong was so good to us before. He often bought yummy food for me and my sister, and he took us out to play. He also helped us beat up bad guys," I said with a smile. "Really? He even beat up bad guys? When was that? Why didn't Daddy know?" Linger explained. It was that one time after kindergarten let out. Some bad guys pretended to be Daddy's good friends. They wanted to take me and my sister away. My sister and I refused. They were about to snatch us away. At the critical moment, Uncle G appeared. With just a few punches, he beat the bad guys away. It was so cool. The more Linger spoke, the more excited she got. Her little hands couldn't help but gesture. Xianer also echoed from the side. "That's right. Uncle G is so strong. Of course I knew about this. I just didn't want to disturb these two little ones. Desire to share. So I asked them on purpose." As I carried the two of them inside, I asked, "Then let me ask you guys, is Uncle G cool, or is Daddy cooler? More awesome?" Linger proudly puffed out her small chest. She said without hesitation, "Of course Daddy is cool. If Daddy wasn't cool, how could he have two beautiful daughters like us? Daddy saved us from the hands of those bad guys back then. I saw it with my own eyes, Daddy. With one slap, knocked down that big bad guy." Hearing this, my heart immediately filled with joy. It was like after a hard day's work. As soon as I got home, my daughter praised me for being amazing. And for working hard. This can really wipe away the fatigue of the entire day. Of course, Uncle G is cool too, just a tiny bit less than Daddy. In the end, Linger still saved some face for Jidong. Xianer, on the other hand, looked confused. "Huh? When was that? When did Daddy beat up bad guys? Why don't I know?" "Ah yeah, it was that time. The time we were kidnapped by bad guys. It was actually Daddy who saved us. You were sleeping in a sack back then. People thought you were dead. You sleep like a pig. Of course you wouldn't know." Xianer's face turned red and she quickly retorted, "I was just too sleepy. Besides, you're the pig. I'm just a little sleepy." Pfft. I don't care. Xianer, you're a pig. You're a silly little pig. A little pig that can't be woken up. No, I'm not. Xianer is not a pig. You're the pig. It's you. I'm not. I'm gonna scratch you. Come on. Who's afraid of who?" Seeing the two bickering more and more fiercely, the two little ones were about to start a fight. I shrugged helplessly. These two kids are really well behaved when they're good, and when they're naughty, they're really naughty. "All right, you two stop moving." I was just about to speak up and stop them, my two daughters who were about to fight. Suddenly, my gaze froze. I saw Chu Yoyu sitting on the sofa typing on her laptop. I frowned. "Why are you here?" Chu Yoyu looked up and glanced at me. Seeing my somewhat unhappy gaze, she didn't avoid it at all. Instead, she said very naturally, "I came to see my daughters. What's wrong? Can't I?" I looked towards Linger and Xianer. Linger understood almost instantly. She immediately raised her small hands, her expression innocent. Linger didn't open the door. "Mommy has a key." Xianer also raised her small hand and said, "Xianer can prove that it really wasn't my sister who opened the door. After Mommy brought my sister back, she had originally left. Linger had already closed the door. Then Mommy opened the door and came in herself. After hearing the two daughters' explanations, I looked at Chu Yu again and asked in an indifferent tone, "Don't you need to go to work?" Chu Yu didn't answer the question. Instead, she asked back, "How could you leave the two girls at home alone? And go out by yourself? Aren't you afraid a bad person might come knocking? The girls are so young. What if they really open the door?" I pouted. "The baddest person is you. They didn't even open the door for you. How could they possibly open it for someone else? My daughter's sense of precaution is much stronger than yours." Being scolded by me, Chu Yu also raised an eyebrow. She retorted impolitely, "What if they touch something they shouldn't at home? For example, the gas, electricity, knives, and so on. If an accident happens, you'll regret it when it's too late." If you really don't have time to take care of them, then let me take care of them. I retorted impolitely. You can't even take care of yourself. And you want to take care of our daughters? Dream on. You're not suited for this. Then I can hire someone to take care of them. We can just leave them at home alone. They're so young. It's so dangerous. Seeing Chu Yu speaking so seriously, I finally understood her purpose. This woman just wants to invisibly interfere in my and my daughter's lives, then find a good opportunity to snatch the girls away. No need, I've already found someone. She'll be here in a few days. Chu Yu immediately frowned. Male or female? I replied coldly. When it comes to taking care of others, of course, a woman will be a bit more meticulous. Hearing it was a woman, Chu Yu immediately became unhappy. She said coldly, I let you guys stay here, not for you to bring women here to live. I've said it before. You can do whatever you want, but you are not allowed to bring other women back here overnight. They'll have to stay here in the future too. Having an unfamiliar woman here feels dirty to me. Seeing this woman getting angry for no reason again, I was used to it, so I didn't argue. Not here. I found her an apartment in the next building. She'll only come over when I'm busy or not here, to occasionally take care of Linger and Xianer's daily meals. These words left Chu Yu with a belly full of nameless anger, with nowhere to vent, so she could only ask gloomily, is this person trustworthy? What if that person doesn't understand Linger and Xianer's habits? What if they hit the children? It's not rare for some bad nannies to hit children. Many cases have been on the news. I'm scared. I cut her off. All right. Stop with the pointless worrying. The person I found has taken care of Ling Er and Xianer before. They know each other very well. She won't do the things you mentioned. Hearing this, Ling Er asked happily, is it Auntie Yu Ting? I nodded. Ling Er said to Chu Yu, Mom, don't worry. Auntie Yu Ting is very nice. Xianer and I are very close to her. Auntie Yu Ting is a great cook, and she plays with Ling Er and Xianer too. She won't do the things you mentioned, Mom. Hearing these words, Chu Yu was finally relieved, but she still felt inexplicably annoyed. But in front of her daughter, she couldn't get angry. She could only give in helplessly. Since you've already found someone, it's up to you. But let me say this first. If your person is even a little bit untrustworthy, and my daughters suffer even a little, I will absolutely not let that person take care of my daughters anymore. I shrugged, feigning indifference, and didn't forget to mock her. In any case, she's more trustworthy in this regard than a great CEO like you. Chu Yu's delicate hands clenched into fists as she nearly ground her teeth to dust. Originally, she had intended to lower herself today, to try and make peace, but this salted fish's attitude was really infuriating her to death.